breaking them down, tearing them up. I just can't get enough, just can't get enough.
Alright, so a couple different things here. I've come up with a tire mold. This is based off somebody else's design for the tread pattern anyway. I've had to resize it and redo it a couple different times, and I'm going to have to redo it again because I just ran into another problem. So eventually I'm going to slice it in half, kind of make more molds. I've been kind of fooling around with making my own tires here. Now these are just made out of hot glue. As you can see, this one didn't turn out so good, but this one turned out really good. Now this is a 3D printed rim and tire. Now I can't use this rim because the inner diameter there, I was having problems with the inner diameter right here, and I don't have the sizing correct on it, but this fits really good on this rim. So that is an option. Now, I'm sure other people's tried to use hot glue before, and there's probably a reason why you don't, but for indoor and micro crawling and stuff, this might be a little bit of an option. I'm gonna explore with this later. I've got a bag full of molds and stuff that I'm working with here that I've created, and I got a whole bag full of other stuff here for the Jiabaile that I've been kind of playing around with. Another thing that I had done, and this works, it's just not fantastic, so I'm working on an adapter for this. So I don't know if you could see the tires on there. There's the tires that I want, but as you see, they kind of slip around a little bit. That's because it has the other tires underneath them. I just kind of put them over top, but it does give me the traction and it gives me the stance that I want. So I figured I'm going to work on tire options. For one, I may have to get silicone or whatever, but I'm also going to work on an adapter plate to adapt these tires without the tire inside to this rim. So I went through several different prototypes right now. I'm working on I got 2 more on the printer right now. So we'll see how those turn out, and then that way everybody can have their own print for it, and you know, kind of go from there. Now, just to get all this to work, so I had to make some really small holes here, which most molds have 4 screw holes on the corner. Mine did not. So I took a safety pin, or I'm sorry, I guess it's a paper clip, and I cut little pieces off, and all I really did was make it to where I could interface with the top plates and bottom plate on these. So the plate that I'm using has a recess in it here, which this one has glue in it because I was trying to do something a little different. Let me pull that out of there. But basically what you do is you fit the plate on there like so, and you know, put more pins in all the way around. Obviously, then you would put your blank on the inside, and again it interfaces with that hole, which on mine it's kind of hard because there's still glue in there. So let me see if I can get some of that out of there so I can show you what I'm talking about here, because it's actually a pretty cool design. It's based off of a lot of the 10 scale ones. It's just very miniaturized, and being that it's smaller, it's going to be a lot harder to remove supports and things like that. So that's the issue that I'm having right now. So when you do this out of glue, for example, it's not like you can control 100% where this glue goes. So you're kind of at that mercy. Get this fitted in here real quick so I can show you this part of it. It's actually a pretty cool design. And then you would put your glue in there, which you're probably going to use something like silicone or something. And I'm eventually working up to that. I'm just using what I had around the house here just to kind of play around with and see if it's even viable. And you could take another one here that's got a blank in it, but won't use that side of the blank. I'll just turn it over and put it on the top, kind of sandwich it together, and then I put my little clamps on there and kind of hold it together as tight as I can to let it kind of solid up. It does work. I'm not sure how well this is going to work, because as of right now I've got one tire that works, and I've already tried 4 or 5 of them already, and I've destroyed one of the molds that I had trying to make this, because the way everything is inside there, it's so hard to remove the tire out of the inside once it's complete. So there's that. Now this is one of the adapters I'm working on here, so you'll have an outer ring here, which this also has to cool off a little bit before I can pull it off the plate. And this is going to be the ring that goes over top of that fills in the tire on the inside. And you'll have a ring on both sides to kind of make up that space that you're missing, so that you can use an Orlando Hunter tire. If this works, that'll be fantastic, and we'll have an option. And like I said, we'll put it up somewhere where everybody can get a hold of it. Probably won't charge anything for this unless somebody wants me to make the tires for them. Then of course I'd probably charge them a little something for that, but otherwise I'm probably going to put the file up for free and just kind of go from there. So we'll let this cool off. And then we'll pull it off the plate and see how it looks. Okay, so here's the basic concept. This one broke. I'm dealing with really thin material here, but basically it'll be enough to interface with the outside there. And let me show you what the inside looks like here. It's just going to take me a little more time to figure out what my tolerances need to be. I may have to thicken this up a little bit, but that does go around the original rim, and then you got the sleeve that goes on there. So that is going to work. I just got to figure out the thinness here to make sure it doesn't come off like that again, because otherwise that will work. So maybe I can thicken it up or something. Gonna work on that now. Alright, so here is a working prototype, as you can see. So basically I took the inside piece out, and I'm just using the insert from the outside and the inside, and it fits nicely over the rim. And this is probably very specific to this tire and type. I'm trying to see what that says on there for the tire, so I can give you an idea of what tire that is. Hopefully you can see that, because I can't tell what these are exactly. I bought them on AliExpress, and they were cheap Orlando Hunter tires. But as you can see, reading that stuff is really small and difficult to read. Let me take one of these inserts off and maybe we can see kind of what it is. Alright, so this is about the best I can do here, guys. Hopefully you can see that, if this thing will focus. Team, auto, something or another. And then for the back side here, see if we can get these numbers to focus in here. GK3318 or something. Yeah, it's really difficult explaining what these are. Again, I got them on AliExpress. So I'm going to measure the inside of this here so you know about what size this is. Okay, so that's about what we're looking at here. I got to stretch this a little bit, so I'm going to say about 16 or so. That is your innermost diameter of this. But if you'll notice on these here, they have that little lip right there. So I would say 16 to 18, something like that. And when you guys use these, you basically see how the insert just kind of fits over top of the rim itself. It's got a nice snug fit, so all you have to do is work it around that and it pops right on. And obviously this isn't like, you know, 100%, end all kind of fix or whatever, but it does work and it holds the tire on there nicely. For doing indoor crawling anyway. I've not tested it outdoors, which I will be doing just to see how good or bad that is. And then you got to work the other side too to make sure that you get the tire to kind of come back out in its form. Now, just for ease, I didn't do any different colors or anything there, but I have a Cricut machine, and I was thinking about doing like a design on this so it didn't look so plain, or maybe making these out of gray or a rainbow or red, or whatever you want. At this point, it's kind of like a white wall effect. It's just kind of big. But again, you need a little bit of a lip on there, so I mean, you can take some of the inside material out, maybe some of the outside material, because you really just want the edge. But I didn't want to do too much. Again, I'm trying to make this as easy as possible so people can pick up and print. I know a lot of times when you start taking away too much material, certain printers have problems with them. I used to have an Ender 3 that was very specific. If the sizes were too small, even with a 2mm nozzle, it would have trouble printing it. So I'm trying to make this as easy as possible. And again, the whole idea here is for everybody to build on this and kind of go from there. And yeah, I know I keep having this arm or this link fall off of here. I don't know why. These links are kind of hit or miss for me. I mean, they're supposed to be an upgrade, but sometimes they kind of aren't the best. But yeah, the look of this is pretty cool. Again, the file is going to be on Thingiverse, and I'm going to put it on Creality Cloud as well. I do have a Maker World account, but I don't have a Bamboo Lab printer, so I probably won't put it up there just specifically because I don't have that type of printer, so it's not something I'm going to be going forward with. Yeah, so I'll put it up there. I'll put a link in the description of where everything's at, and I hope this helps somebody out, and we can continue to kind of build on this and go from there, because this is a pretty cheap option. It doesn't take but 20 minutes or whatever to print these. You can print them all four together, and it's not a terrible process. It doesn't look too terrible. Obviously with the stock rims there, it looks kind of funny, but if you put the weighted rims in there, it doesn't look as bad. And again, you can change the colors on these, so that's kind of what I'm looking at. Yeah, I hope this helps everybody out here. Again, I'm putting it on Thingiverse. I'm putting it on Creality Cloud. I do have a Maker World account, but I'm probably not going to put it there because I don't have a Bamboo printer. So yeah, hopefully this is something that we can build on, guys. I know it kind of looks a little bit funny with the stock rims, but it does look better with the weighted rims you get from Jiabaile. And once I finish my actual rims, which I've been working on them off and on here, this is about the size they're going to be. Again, I don't like the spokes on there, so I'll be changing the pattern and stuff there. But even on my printer here, see how I'm printing there with a 4mm nozzle. You got to remember there's shrinkage on PLA, which is what I'm using, and also the fine detail. You're not going to get super small with this, so there's a fine line on what you're printing as far as like a 4mm nozzle anyway. And I'm trying to make this to where most people can do it, because I mean, I'm sure there's other people that have different size nozzles, but most everybody has a 4mm. That's what they usually come with. So that's kind of what I'm thinking here. So once I get that done, we'll have a rim option too. But I'm not in any hurry to get that done, so whenever it gets done is whenever it gets done. In the meantime, we can use these inserts, and it will work for these bigger tires for Orlando. So hope that helps everybody out, and I can't wait to see how this grows and changes as we go along here. So appreciate everybody watching, and stay tuned. I got a lot more coming with this guy.